Since we've looked at filleting, what we're also going to do now is to look at chamfering as well. Now, chamfered edge is very similar to the one that you can see here. It looks as if it's just sort of being cut off as opposed to being blended around. And you'll notice that we've got this section of our drawing which has got some very square edges on it. And they really just need to be sort of chamfered off just to make them a little bit more friendly and a little bit easier to work with. So what I'll do is I'll come up here to my modify section and I'll click on the arrow next to fillets and chamfers, and I'll make sure that I've got chamfer selected. And as soon as I do that, we have our dialog come up and it says select first line or. Now what I want to do is I want to right click, and from that I've got a whole section of options available to me here, of which I'm going to use distance. So there we go. So now I'm being asked to specify the distance for the first chamfer. So I'm going to type in 1, press enter, and then I'll be asked for the second one, which it's assuming is going to be 1. So I'll press enter for that, and then I'll click on my first line and then my second line. Now in that instance it was very easy to see it was a dimension of 1 by 1 and it was going to be a 45-degree angle. But how do I know? This is the question. How do I know which way round it is? Well, if we come back here and we go fillet and I right click and type in distance again, if I give myself my first distance of 2 and my second distance of 1, when I come and do my chamfer, you can see that the distance of 2 was the first line that we picked. Yeah? So that was going to be always going to be this line. That was going to have a distance of 2 from its end point, and this was only going to be a distance of 1 from its end point. So again, I'll repeat the chamfer, and I'll right click and say distance, and I'll say 2 and enter, and 1 and enter, and now I'll do that from here to here. So you can see that was my first line that I clicked, so that was a distance of 2, and then you look at these two ends and you think, oh, they're not even, but I had the same value in. So we'll undo that, and I'll do my chamfer again, and again I'll say distance just to double check 2 and 1, and this time if I click the vertical line and then the horizontal line, what I get is the vertical line, the chamfer goes back 2 units into it, and the horizontal line only 1 unit. So that's quite important, that you can put in your distances, and it doesn't matter if you do 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. What's important is that if you put 2 into your first line, then that's going to be the first line that you pick here. It's going to have that value of 2. It's going to be chamfered back to that value of 2. So that's worth remembering. So I'll just finish this off by doing another one. So we'll say distance, and we'll say 1 and 1, and then it doesn't matter which one of these two I pick. And then we've got a nice even edge over the end there. So what that's done is it's just sort of finished off this end of the drawing. Obviously we'd need to go back and finish off that end as well, but I think for example purposes here, just finishing off one end is absolutely fine and gives us a good idea of how to use the chamfer tool.